Donald Trump's love life has always made headlines. Long before Melania, he had a string of high-profile romances, and some of his exes didn't shy away from sharing what it was really like to be with him. So, what did they reveal about the real estate tycoon turned president? Let's find out. First up, Ivana Trump, Donald's first wife and the mother of 3 of his children. Their marriage lasted 15 years, but things ended on a messy note. In 1990, Ivana filed for divorce after Trump's highly publicized affair with Marla Maples. She cited cruel and inhuman treatment and claimed the affair had caused her emotional distress.
Donald during the divorce was brutal. He took the divorce as a business deal, and he cannot lose.
There were also disturbing allegations in court documents, including verbal abuse and even a claim of sexual violation. In her original deposition, Ivana recalled how Trump got violent after a surgery. She first called it sexual assault, but later clarified she didn't mean it in a legal way, just that she felt deeply violated as a woman. Trump, of course, denied everything, calling her claims obviously false.
It's called fake news.
Despite the drama, Ivana didn't completely turn her back on her ex. In 2016, she told the New York Post, "He's blunt. He's not a politician, he's a businessman. He knows how to talk. He can give an hour speech without notes." But by 2018, she seemed less convinced about another presidential run, saying, maybe he should just go and play golf and enjoy his fortune. In her memoir, Raising Trump, she made it clear who she thought did most of the parenting. "The credit for raising such great kids belongs to me."
He was a loving father, don't get me wrong, and he was a good provider. But he was not a father which would take a stroller and go to the Central Park.
She added, "Donald might not have been the greatest husband, but he was a good father. Obviously, they adore him." Trump even echoed that years earlier in a New York Magazine interview, saying his kids really like me, love me, a lot.
It was only until they were about 18-year-old he could communicate with them, because he could start to talk business with them.
Then came Marla Maples, Trump's second wife and the woman who played a big role in ending his marriage to Ivana. When talking to Access Hollywood in 2016, she described Trump as vulnerable, a word you don't hear too often in connection with Donald.
I saw a vulnerable man, and I like vulnerability in people. I like when you've got the ability to visualize and manifest, and he has that power. Whatever his dreams are, he has the ability to move them forward. That's very attractive, but I also saw a vulnerability.
Back in the 90s, she called him adorable with a little boy quality, and even said their love was trusting and good, but things didn't stay rosy. By the time they split, Marla had changed her tune. In a 1999 interview with The Telegraph, she admitted, "Donald was never the man I wanted to marry. He and his world were alien to me." She also claimed he had relentlessly pursued her, saying, "I couldn't get away, and foolishly I listened to some of his promises." Well, that doesn't exactly sound like a fairy tale ending. After Marla, Trump dated supermodel Kara Young.
I didn't think I was gonna like him because he wasn't my type. I didn't think he was my type, but it just ends up happening. You clicked, yeah. I know it's hard to believe, but he was very funny and he had a really good personality.
And even after they broke up, Kara said there were no hard feelings. But there was one moment that stuck with her. In Maggie Haberman's 2022 book, Confidence Man, it was revealed that Trump once told Young she got her beauty from her black mother and her intelligence from the white side, referring to her father.
And when he said that, you corrected him.
Yes, it wasn't like a fight or anything like that. It was just more like, don't say that, it's not funny.
How did he respond when you said, you can't say that?
He said, I was just joking, I was just kidding. I don't think that.
And then there's Kylie Bax, a New Zealand model who was frequently spotted with Trump in the 90s. They never confirmed a relationship, but she didn't hesitate to back him years later. When multiple women came forward with sexual misconduct allegations during the 2016 campaign, Bax stood by Trump saying, "Nobody is squeaky clean." And she didn't stop there. She actually said, "I think he will do an outstanding job as president." Now that's some serious loyalty.
I have many friends.
Last but not least, Rowan Brewer-Lane, a former model and Miss USA contestant who had a short fling with Trump. She met him at Mar-a-Lago, where he asked her to change into a swimsuit, and then introduced her to everyone as a stunning Trump girl. Sounds like classic Trump, right? The New York Times painted the story as demeaning, But Rowan pushed back. She said she didn't find it inappropriate at all.
He was very gracious. I saw him around all types of people, all types of women. He was very kind, thoughtful, generous. He was a gentleman.
Now, let's get back to that scandalous split with Ivana, because it came with no shortage of drama. Donald met Ivana, née Ivana Zelnichkova, in 1976.
Lady Trump, I was first wife. Tell me. Okay. I don't know what is Melania problem. She just has to get over it.
She ended up in New York City for a modeling gig, and during a dinner with other models, Donald swooped in. He secured the group the best table in the place and joined them. Smooth move, right?
And I turned to my girlfriend and said, I have a good news and bad news. What is the good news? We're going to get a table real fast. What is the bad news? This fellow behind me is going to go and sit with us.
By Christmas, Donald asked her to go on vacation. They went to Aspen and had the most romantic time together. On New Year's Eve, Donald told her, if you don't marry me, you'll ruin your life. Now that's the Trump we know. And despite having known each other for only a few months, Ivana agreed to marry him.
Donald always had a great head on his shoulder, and I saw the potential in it.
They tied the knot on April 9th, 1977 in New York City, and during their honeymoon in Mexico, Ivana became pregnant with their first child. On December 31, 1977, their son Donald Jr. was born. The couple went on to welcome 2 more children, Ivanka in 1981 and Eric in 1984. A picture-perfect marriage, right? But wait.
He did not know how to speak to them in the children way of thinking. So he was able to speak to them only when they came from university, when eventually was able to speak business with them.
Yeah.
But otherwise he really did not know how to handle the kids.
Donald and Ivana weren't just partners in marriage, but also in business.
And I was chief executive officer, and casino really did very well. It was the most profitable hotel casino in the United States.
However, their seemingly perfect marriage hit the rocks in 1989 when Ivana discovered Donald's affair with model Marla Maples.
Did you see warning signs?
I really didn't. I really didn't.
It all happened during the family's annual holiday trip to Aspen. Ivana ran into Maples outside a restaurant, with patrons and the rest of the family watching. Ivana wrote, "This young blonde woman approached me out of the blue and said, 'I'm Marla, and I love your husband. Do you?' I said, 'Get lost. I love my husband.' It was unladylike, but I was in shock."
We were actually standing near the restaurant, getting ready to put skis on. And I was standing there like an idiot. And Marla and Ivana were here. And there wasn't shouting, but you could obviously see there was some friction.
Turns out this affair had been going on for years.
Do you think unless the two had actually come face to face, you would have confronted that situation?
Well, it's interesting because it's possible that, maybe it would still be going on. I'm not sure.
The affair made headlines, and in March 1990, Ivana officially filed for divorce, resigning from the Trump organization a few months later.
In my case, it was just so clear, and the trust was broken so badly that I knew that it was just no way it could be patched.
Maples and Donald continued to date on and off, and in 1993, she became pregnant with their first child. Their daughter Tiffany was born on October 13, which Maples later called the greatest unplanned surprise of all. Despite Donald previously saying he had no plans to get married again, the couple decided to tie the knot shortly after Tiffany's birth, on December 20th, 1993.
We really anticipated getting married and having a baby, not having a baby and getting married.
So why didn't you marry her right away when you found out she was pregnant? Why did you wait?
Indecision.
The pair remained married for 3 years before separating in May 1997. Maples later explained the split, saying that they differed on how they viewed the world and how they wanted to raise their child.
So I think you always hope in a marriage that you can bring out the best in each other. But after many years, we realized we weren't.
However, rumors swirl that the real cause was Maples cheating on Trump with his bodyguard, who was caught with her on a deserted beach. Probably not just having a late-night stroll. But Maples have always denied the affair, of course. But it's not all bad blood. Despite their rocky past, Donald and Marla managed to mend fences. In a 2013 Oprah interview, Marla revealed, "I still love Donald. I love Eric, Ivanka, and Donnie so much." They even managed to share an Easter celebration in April 2023. Who knew divorce could come with a side of friendly get-togethers?
He's the father of my child. I do not want to ever speak negative about it. But do we agree on everything? Absolutely not. We would be married if we still agreed on everything.
But Ivana, who passed away in 2022, clearly wasn't ready to forgive and forget.
I don't want to talk about her. She's a showgirl, never achieved anything in her life.
In her 2017 memoir, Raising Trump, she didn't hold back, saying, "She actively participated in humiliating me in the media and indirectly put my kids at risk for months. I went through hell, and then I was expected to be okay with her being around my children?" Ivana's words reflected the deep hurt and betrayal she felt, a pain that her friends believe she never fully overcame. Well, who could blame Ivana?
He's free at the moment, isn't he? He's single.
Yes, he is.
Would you not like to get back together with him?
Nope.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you would like to get back?
Nope.
So, with all this scandal and drama, who do you think was the true love of Trump's life? Let's discuss in the comments.